and you guys can avoid more of my puns. But we are just getting set up, as I said. We haven't actually revealed the leaders just yet. I will announce, I don't know if you've told them yet, but we actually are going to have a table judge for today's top cut.
Yeah, you can see him on Nguyen's screen right there in the
Yeah,
corner.
you can. I know a lot of people are always requesting that we're able to do this. Oh my God, these sleeves are beautiful. However, we finally are able to bring one in, and we're really excited to do it, to have our table judge here. So fingers crossed, everything's going to go great.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this. I know a lot of players are like, why don't you have, because it costs literal money, and a lot of these people operate at a loss to do these events, and it means that they have to just sink more, deeper into their wallets, which they usually cannot afford to do.
But in this case, we are getting to do it. So we're very, very
Yes.
lucky that we're having the opportunity to have a table judge in a non-official tournament. So really, really, really excited, and I'm sure everybody will be very happy about that. So we'll get into that shortly. It looks like we are looking at basically the expected battlefields here. We're looking at Zon Warrens. That's really going to help discard more hands or cards into the discard pile for Vi at some point. Dreaming Tree obviously is really great with Annie, especially Dreaming Tree Flash. Arena's Greatest to speed up the game. And Yi with Aspirin's Climb to make it longer. Exactly the opposite. Obelisk of Power to try to ramp up power more. And Vile Maw, which is potentially going to be Annie's kryptonite, because you try to FOF someone away, FOF no more, that guy stays in Vile Maw.
Yeah, that fight or flight's definitely going to have a lot less value with that Vile Maw's lair. So I'm just curious to see if he's going to open up with the Vile Maw's lair. It's actually going to be the Aspirant's Climb, so just not going to try and negate that Arena's Greatest. Just wants to win, I assume, before that becomes problematic. Or maybe he's just going to say, you know what, I'll let you do the Arena's Greatest. I'm just going to play Obelisk of Power and ramp up anyways. But yeah, I think Vile Maws makes a lot of sense on the play as well. But yeah, I think Zon Warrens, if you're on Zon Warrens, you kind of always have to be on Zon Warrens in game one, just because you're going to slide out the scrap heaps, and then this Zon Warrens gets a lot less value.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I am interested to see these mulligans. I did not fully get to see every single card in Min's hand, but I did notice we are keeping a Vi there. So, and I think there might have also been a 2-drop, but the Vi. So it is officially in hand for later in the game when he's probably going to want to try to close it.
Yeah, you love to see the handshake come out. So, oh, and you know what? You were talking about him being a Magic Pro. He has the Magic Pro sleeves.
Ah, true. Look at that. I wasn't wrong.
You were not wrong.
If
I'm not mistaken, the only way to get that is to literally be in the Pro Tour.
Oh, well, let's go. Yeah, my understanding is he is a top Magic player. I am not going to try to quote myself on any specific standing that he's in, but I do know I think he's a pro Magic player.
Subtle intimidation factor, and I'm casting, and I kind of feel a little intimidated.
Shaking in my boots over here as well. Luckily, I'm not wearing boots, though, so it will not affect my casting. But we are getting started. We've revealed our leaders and our battlefields, and I think they're trying to ask, are we ready to start, to some extent, because we're just chatting. I do love a little bit of a player meeting right before the game starts.
Yeah, it looks like both of these players are just smiling, having a good time. You got to see the handshake, so either both of these players know each other from beforehand, or they're just having a good time and enjoying each other's company, which, honestly, love to see it.
Yeah, they definitely do know each other. I know that they were both at CCS at the same time.
They are at CCS right now.
SCG, different C.
Okay.
I was warning people yesterday that I'm really bad about mixing up words that start with the same letter. They are not actually starting with the same letter here, I will admit, but S and C are very similar. C sounds like an S or a K depending on the situation of the C. So I'm just saying. It's not my fault. It is my fault when we talk about it.
I'm gonna see you later after that.
C?
You
later.
Yeah.
We were talking about the same letter C, not S-E-E, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
just making sure. Okay, I'm making sure I was picking what you're putting down. Luckily, Zon's does look green today, so I am happy that I'm able to spot it correctly. I had some problems yesterday where I thought it looked red. But I do also like Min's sleeves. I'm not sure who the other person is in the picture, but I think one of them is Min.
I think you're right.
I love these customized sleeves. I'm not sure you're allowed to use them like official play, like the I guess it's called OPL. Is that the correct word?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're not supposed to use them in like OPL, but like here it's great to see.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Um,
I could be wrong with that too. Yeah.
yeah, I have no idea, honestly. I'm not gonna pretend to know.
I will say it's one of my favorite things about One Piece players is that I noticed that they have a lot of sleeves where like they have people's faces on them, and it's one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. That's like on my Twitter while I'm following card game Twitter. You know, I love seeing the personalized sleeves. They're so silly. Um, let's
Yeah.
see.
Chat's been blown up. I don't know what's going on with the chat.
How many rounds and what top cut? We had one round earlier, and now we are going to have top 16. It's really, really, really exciting. They were doing, top 16 photos, and then we got to come hang out here, and we're going to get to watch this game with you guys shortly when it does start. So that's going to be super exciting. I'm not really sure what we're sitting around waiting for too much. But Top Cut, for those who don't know, is untimed. So that is kind of exciting. Oh, and the game is starting. It looks like Villionaire did win the dice roll, and we hit those 2 greens. I would say missed our 2 cost, but I don't think you play 2 cost in Aurora E.
No, you. Well, I mean, you have Mobilize. I think that's the only
Yeah.
drop that you play. And then Minh right here, just going to go right off to the races, drop down that sneaky
Ooh,
deckhand
sneaky.
right into that Zon Warrant. So just going to be able to get rid of that scrap heap early on and off to the races.
Yeah, it's really, really nice to be able to hit that scrap heap so quickly. You know, sometimes I might think that a sneaky deckhands this quick could be a little aggro, but against Aurora Yi, who's not going to have creatures until that Aurora drops, I think it's pretty safe.
Absolutely. And then also, I mean, the Aspirant's Climb is going to slow things down quite a bit. You don't think that that 1 extra point matters that much, but it really, really does. So, I mean, Nguyen off to a great start, but he's going to have to find a little bit more early on. And it looks like he's just going to go right with the Kaiza immediately. And yeah, I mean, just keep this pressure on, go right into the Aspirant's Climb, be able to draw an additional card, keep that hand nice and full, and hopefully find a few more answers in these next couple of turns. So, got to bring back that sneaky deckhand, wants to be able to get that conquer yet again, and going to send it right back off to this to Villionaire.
Yeah, I think it's really what you're saying. Like Min knows that his only chance, no, I'm not saying only chance, but his greatest chance is to get as many points as possible. So he's being super aggro, sneaky deckhands into the battlefield. Kaisa accelerates into the battlefield. And Villionaire is a little bit missing on his ramp cards. We don't see any Aeons of Catalyst. We didn't see Mobilize. But we did find a Find Your Center, which is going to let him get 1 extra rune and I think a card draw as well. So we are going to use that sneaky deckhands into Zon Warrens to draw would discard and draw another card, but luckily it's scrap heap, so actually it's 2 cards we get to draw.
Yep. So just utilizing these scrap heaps while he has them available, and then again, just getting that conquer to be able to do that in the first place. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be up to Nguyen to just continue to bolster his back line and find a few more tools to deal with what we expect to be in Aurora on this following turn, as we do see that Find Your Center being able to put him up to 7 runes, which means that next turn he'll be at 9. And yeah, that Dazzling Aurora is going to come down.
Yeah, it's going to be a big moment for Villionaire. Does he have Dazzling Aurora as he goes to 9 runes here? But I do think it's slightly interesting to notice that, like, the Aspirant's Climb, we do have the Dazzling Aurora, though. Normally, as an Annie player, you're really looking to hit that 6-point mark. So then you can do the Ride the Wind turn that gets that extra point or gets it and crosses over the threshold. But now Min's actually trying to get to 7 to have that same type of effect into 9. And sadly, we do hit Tasty Feyfolk off Aurora, which cannot be accelerated off Aurora. And so Min is going to go up to 7 here. But next turn's when he's going to start having to deal with some of these really big, hefty creatures from Villionaire.
Yep. I mean, the Tasty Feyfolk was obviously a great start to deal with everything. And now this Traveling Merchant's just going to move, go ahead and discard yet another card, make that Vi just that ever so bigger. And, well, he does have that 3rd scrap heap, so he's going to be able to draw an additional 2 cards. And yes, Fevalent, we do know that you can accelerate it. There's just absolutely no reason to. So it's kind of, we're just saying you can't. Because technically, you can have it entered ready, but it's not actually doing the effect that you want it to do. So, anyways, point still stands. Villionaire honestly not in a bad position, and neither is Minh, as he is already at that 7-point threshold. So if he wants, he can go ahead and bolster that back line even further and potentially set up for a next turn win. And he has quite a few tools to be able to do so. And again, just continuing to set up that discard pile, hopefully have enough cards in that discard to be able to utilize that Vi as effectively as possible. And we have to assume that this Darius is potentially coming down as well. And yeah, I mean, great positioning here for Minh. I don't expect him to put the Darius into either of these battlefields. And then I assume the sneaky deckhand will go right back into the base. And, well, these two cards get readied, and now it's off to Villionaire's turn. And he has to figure out a way to defend both of these battlefields. I guess not both, but one of these battlefields, at least for the time being, and be able to conquer on these following turns, because right now there is a lot of tools at Minwin's disposal.
Ooh, sabotage is gonna come down. We go in and just put up these different cards. But I love seeing what's in Min's hand. Um, it is to note right now, Billionaire doesn't have to worry too much about like that, even though Vi Ride the Wind is definitely like a threat in the future. There's only 4 cards in Min's discard pile. So that Vi right now is kind of only really threatening 7 versus sometimes you can see Vi get up to be 15, maybe 20. It's crazy.
Absolutely. And I think one of the big things to note here is even though the sabotage gets to take away one of these cards, it doesn't go into the discard pile. It goes to the bottom of the deck because it is being recycled. So, I mean, I think this is just the best card to have to get rid of a couple of cards in Minwin's hand. And I think Ride the Wind is very likely going to be the choice. I think the only other very serious choice in terms of non-unit cards to get rid of would be that Fight or Flight.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And we are going to be able to send it, as you said, to the bottom of the deck. And it's kind of bad for Min in 2 ways. A, right, it's not getting discarded. It can't be used for Vi. But we can also combo that purple Annie to be able to pull something from the discard pile to our hand to use later. So not in the discard pile means that it's not accessible for Min. It does look like, though, it is going to be that Fight or Flight that Billionaire decides to recycle.
Yep. So out goes that Fight or Flight. And it makes sense to me because right now, Villionaire needs to conquer either one of these battlefields. And if he isn't able to do so, he will lose the game, as that will put Minwin to 9 points, which is that new point threshold that needs to be met here. So unless he flips over exactly Deadbloom Predator, he really will not have any other options to do so. And so because of this, Villionaire is feeling the pressure. I mean, he's got Challenge, he's got Charm, he's got a couple of tools to be able to strip away a couple of these cards, but if he's not able to get into either of these battlefields, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that he's doing this knowing what's in Min's hand. That Tasty Faithful currently threatening 6 against that Kaisa with 4, but we know he has Flash. But more so, we also know he's a Void Seeker that could equalize the damage here. But it looks like it is going to be Flash. We're going to bring both cards back to that base. Interesting, though, that means that the Traveling Merchant is going to be able to discard another card and draw, growing that discard pile that Vi's really going to want to access later.
Absolutely. And then also we did get to see a stacked deck in hand, so he might even just opt to try and find a cleave if Villionaire decides to go for something like a Charm here.
Yeah, I wonder what is going to be the decision point. Stacked is 1, so that would leave up enough mana for a cleave if we get charmed up. And I think Villionaire knows that. I think Stacked deck was in hand, so he has an idea of what his opponent could do. There's definitely other options that maybe wouldn't be as big with the cleave that maybe he could pull up, but we do want to get some of this might off the board on Min's side.
Absolutely. I mean, he's staring down right now about 15 might, and that's not including the Darius trigger. And if the Darius does trigger, that's an additional 2. We didn't quite get to see exactly what is in Min's hand. It looks like there's a couple of Charms, a Tasty Faithful, a Challenge, and some Discipline. So Not sure if he has that Defy to protect himself, but these charms do feel very risky as you know, again, your opponent can get something like a stack deck into a cleave. So very afraid of that, I think, and rightfully so. He might even just opt to go for a Tasty Faithful, hopefully defend both these battlefields. But if he does that, it does make things a little bit more risky.
Yeah, to note though, it's not like Min's gonna be able, or not like Billionaire is gonna be able to just remove those things from Min's hand. So maybe there's some option where you're like, I need to burn it now before Min can choose how to best use it later. But who knows? We'll have to see what Billionaire decides to do. It does look like we are going to see a charm, and I'm assuming it is going to be that Kaisa coming up. 4 versus 8, actually. I did forget about that Yi +2. It is one of my greatest kryptonites.
Yeah, I think I did too as well. So yeah, very smartly choosing the Kaiser as it does play around that cleave very effectively. So I think at this point, Min's just going to go for a stack deck, except that this Kaiser is going to get taken away. And instead, 2 runes are going to be exhausted. It could potentially even be this Ride the Wind. And at that point, things are going to be very risky. He has to, he will be forced to use this cleave, or challenge rather, to get rid of exactly what's happening here. Well, you know what? He might even just opt to go for Ride the Wind on the Darius. Instead, yep, just going to go right into that Zon Warrens and force that challenge to be used.
That is such. Oh, it is going to be Kaisa that is going to be moving over, but definitely a scary option here. This Ride the Wind. Billionaire needs to do something, or Kaisa's going to score that 8th point. And guess what happens when the turn changes? It'll be a 9th point.
Absolutely. So now Villionaire just thinking about all of his options. The challenge does seem to be the safest line, as it does deny that Kaisa from being able to score that point. So it looks like he's ready to exhaust those 2 runes. He is already at that 8-point threshold, as he is technically still in that defense right now. And yeah, there goes that challenge. And well, Min's exhausted, so that Kaisa is going to get taken out.
Yeah, good thing that Billionaire had the challenge in hand, ready to deal with that Ride the Wind. To be though, it is in the discard pile, but Annie can still access it with the chosen champion, Annie Stubborn, where if you play her, you can return a spell from your discard pile to your hand. So definitely not out of the wheelhouse for Min to still use it.
Yeah, Ride the Wind, definitely a very powerful tool. I know a lot of players have been fairly outspoken about it. And so now this Darius is just going to get taken out as well. And yeah, I mean, that is, you're not happy to see that.
Not happy to see that at all. All the big boys that Min had have been dealt with now, and it looks like we are going to be hitting Mountain Drake off of that Aurora. It looks like looks like we are just quickly figuring out how to deal with some of these. But
oh, it looks like even the judge forgot about the Yi trigger. Oh, no, okay. All right, we're on the same boat. We're on the same boat. He got the heal from the after the challenge. All right, judge is making sure everything that is making sure that everything is kosher, and so now this Mountain Drake will be able to trigger, and yeah, it'll be up to Min Nguyen to find a way back into this game, because right now it definitely feels like Villionaire is starting to stabilize, and the fact that Dead Bloom Predator hasn't yet been seen. It feels very risky to want to go into that Zon Warrens.
yeah, I definitely think we do have to do it regardless. Like, just like take the discard, and start threatening for 9. But what does that really mean? Ooh, it looks like we are going to be counting our discard, which often means Vi may be upon us soon. I didn't see the exact number that got that he has in his discard pile, but there is currently 16 on Villionaire's Aspirant's Climb.
Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of might to deal with. And because he's no longer defending alone, you don't have to worry about that plus stat.
Yeah.
But, I mean, 16 stats is nothing to scoff at here. So we'll have to see how he decides to navigate the rest of this turn. But I do think that as these turns continue, it's going to be increasingly difficult to be able to deal with the board that Billionaire has.
For sure. I will say we can get one extra discard, or two actually, off that traveling merchant going up into Zon Warren's 2 discard 2 draw that could help us fill in some space for the Vi's Might. I do think we saw 2 turned and 1 recycled, so that is Vi coming down. And then, did you catch the count?
8.
8. That's only 11 so far.
Yeah, she's still a small little girl.
I don't know if I would call her that, but something.
Well, when you look at that big old Drake and that purpley man,
I mean, she'd be bigger than either of them by themselves. And there are 4 runes up, so we do have to think that could be. I mean, I guess technically it could be 3 on guards. No, on guard they're not by themselves. It could be 2 disciplines, and that's 4 more might.
there is 2 disciplines.
Yeah, I know. I remember. It looks like we are going to be coming in though, trying to threaten. Actually, we're trying to threaten, I think, the Tasty Fae folk here.
Yeah, I actually, you know what? I really like this line here. Just gonna trigger the discard here, and yeah, just feed that Vi as much as possible, and allow yourself that opportunity to get over this Tasty Fae folk. Unfortunately, there is that discipline in hand, so he's just gonna use that discipline now, pump up that Fae folk, make things a little bit more uncomfortable for him, and then, yeah, I mean, he has that fight or flight in hand, and it is going to be able to be used properly to just remove the Fae folk anyways. So I think he's considering just letting this happen, so that that discipline does resolve. And now he has to consider, do you go for the fight or flight or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. Also, just like kind of letting those 3 die no matter what does end up getting 3 more cards into that discard pile. I know I feel like I'm talking about the discard pile way too much, but that discard pile is really important since we know Vi is on the board. For those who don't really understand, Vi actually has an ability where for each card that you recycle from your discard pile, she does get an extra might. And you can do this as many times as you have cards in your discard pile. So it's not that she goes to 4, she goes up to 4, 5, 6, etc. As long as that goes. And going on and riding the wind during this fight also does let us potentially get a point, potentially turn where some of these different spells may go, but also adds another card to my favorite word of this game, the discard pile.
Yeah, actually, I really like this clever use of Ride the Wind here. Just use the Ride the Wind while it's available. Get that card into that discard pile before it becomes too relevant. And then allow these people the space that they need. Our player, it is myself, Saucekay, and Ursiiday. Yeah, we are the 2 casters. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is a very good position to be in. Looks like that fight or flight is finally going to come down and just push back that Mountain Drake. And yeah, I mean, this Mountain Drake is going to get pushed back to base because there is no Defy, and all of a sudden, Villionaire feels very bad about his situation.
Yeah, it does not feel good to leave send one of those big mountain drakes back to the base. This is a set 1 tournament, so no set 2 cards, guys, can be played just yet. You're going to have to wait 7 days for your pre-rift event. But it does look like we are going to have a scoop here as Villionaire accepts his fate in game 1. We're going game 2, and my assumption here is we're going to be seeing a Vile Mausoleer on Villionaire's side as he chooses to go first again. And my assumption is Dreaming Tree on Men's side.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. No, guys, it is not set 2. It is set 1. That is the situation. So a Riftbound, easy to play. I think it's easy to get started, but definitely not easy to play. But with that said, guys, while these guys are getting ready here for game 2, we're just going to send it off to a quick commercial break, about 1 minute.
Yeah, we are. For those who don't understand, we are trying to make sure that we don't have any commercials during the actual gameplay. So we're going to send that to commercial. But meanwhile, we can talk a little bit about these decks. And I mean, maybe set 2 if people want to talk about set 2, but always fun to see some of these great gameplays. Top 16, both of these are very, very seasoned players, and they know exactly what they're going to, well, maybe not exactly, but they have an idea of what they want from their sideboard here.
Absolutely. So, I mean, from Minwin's side, I think it's pretty clear that you're just going to take out those scrap heaps. You no longer have access to the Zon Warren, so it's going to be a lot less card quality. And I love, love, love how Minwin's doing his sideboard. He puts his entire sideboard into his deck. He shuffles the deck, and then he just takes out 8 cards. You don't know if he takes out any card or if he takes out 8 cards. And it makes things incredibly difficult because you can't get a read of what your opponent's doing.
That's really smart. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but it is cool to see. I always as someone who comes from card games that don't have sideboards before Riftbound, it's definitely something I struggle with a good bit is the sideboarding. How do I, one of my biggest ones is how do I remember what was in my sideboard when I'm unsideboarding at the end of the game? But also, you know, just like seeing some of these techniques from players who are seasoned in the sideboard game. It's really interesting to see. Yeah, I was saying earlier that Min is, or at least I had my understanding is that he is a pro Magic player, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, he knows the secret text. He knows, he was there when it was written, apparently. But no,
I don't think he was there, but maybe. Is this a thing in Magic too with the people's photos on the sleeves? Because I said this again. I saw this mainly in One Piece. I think it's really cool though.
oh no, I haven't seen that. But the way that he's doing the pile shuffling is very magic. He just,
Is it really?
I don't know how did you see his do the finger things? I don't
Oh,
know.
that
Yeah,
part. Yeah, I thought you were meaning where he like shoves them all back together. I was like, what does that mean?
no,
But
yeah,
yeah,
just the way that he separates the piles, and it's
I
I don't know. I
can't
see
do
a lot
it.
of Magic players do it. I don't see a lot of other players from other games do it. That said, you did call the battlefields. Minwin is on that dreaming tree.
Let's go. Maybe I'm the best. I will say, I don't know. There's always like this argument. I feel like in card games where people are like, "How do I feel like pile shuffling's bad? I feel like these different things are bad." And I think it's interesting because everyone always riffle shuffles no matter what in a pile shuffling, or that I've seen. Let's put it that way. That I've seen.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's not like it's as long as you pile shuffle at the end. I think it's completely okay. I personally, this is a really dumb complaint. I played Pokemon and Lorcana before this, 60 card decks.
Mm-hmm.
It's a full 60 cards. They're too large for me to pile shuffle by as a full deck.
You have small hands.
I have small hands. And so I'm like, can't do it. So I would pile shuffle and then ripple shuffle every single one of the piles together.
Mm. Do you
But
know what B3 paired is? 3 pair. I don't. Rule. I'm sorry. Rule
it's be
wizard.
prepared. It's like
Yeah, but what's B3 paired? I don't know what that means.
I think it's like it's 333. So I think it's like a number pun.
Well, yeah, but okay, never mind.
Is it something for
I don't know.
me?
I don't know. I don't know if we were supposed to do something about it.
I don't know any. Yeah, you're supposed to be like the old school 20 lore guy. I heard that you're here from the beginning. I feel like you should know the puns better than I do.
That's true. Actually, I
Actually,
should
I don't
know
know them
that.
at all.
I don't know. I don't know. But thank you for that, Russell Wizard.
Yeah, be prepared. What? Why are you laughing at that? I just tried to put it together. Did it sound? Was it something what I said?
No, just the way that you said it was funny.
Okay.
It was
don't
like
understand.
so, just like I don't know, nonchalant. I guess is the best way to put it.
Well, I called them both correctly, by the way. Vilemaw and Dreaming Tree.
Yep.
Vilemaw, I mentioned this a little bit earlier for those who are just coming in, is so strong versus Annie. And so you're not allowed to retreat, or you're not allowed to move from Vilemaw to your base, which completely counteracts the
Flash.
Flash as well, fight or flight, both cards that Annie absolutely loves to use, sometimes defensively, sometimes offensively, however she wants to do, but not on Vilemaw, she won't be able to. And then also she just kind of likes to dance. She likes to dance from one battlefield to another battlefield to another battlefield, and this traveling merchant has been firmly decided he will not be going to Vilemaw, or he only gets one use.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's just the case here, but I do expect him to go into the streaming tree.
Yeah.
There's so many different tools to be used, and
I was
we
wrong.
are
I was
both
wrong.
wrong. I completely thought that was not going to be the case, but instead that is going to be the case. I guess he wants to protect his Kaisa, knowing that his opponent will be at 8 runes next turn. Yes, there is a tasty Fofilk that can come down, but that means actually, it doesn't mean that the Dazzling Aurora is going to take a bit longer. But regardless, Kai'Sa is going to be able to draw a card, and I feel like you'd rather be able to reconquer with that Kai'Sa rather than not.
Yeah, and I also will say we're talking a lot about Min's Annie, but Billionaire did hit that Aeons of Catalyst, and was able to go on and add 2 more exhausted runes to his pile, which means he is currently up to 8, just shy of being able to use his Aurora. But he is last game he didn't ramp. This time we are ramping.
Yeah,
So
that Catalyst of Aeon is going to be putting in a lot of work, allowing him potentially to just go ahead and conquer one of these battlefields outright right now if he does have that Tasty Faithful. But I think because of how long he's making his considerations, yeah, there doesn't have that Dazzling Aurora, or he just has both and is considering whether or not he wants to wait a turn. And it looks like that is going to be the case. I like this a lot, actually, because this way there's no protection for the unit. And this, and he gets to guarantee strip away one of these points on this following turn.
yeah, I think it's interesting. I think my read from this would be that Villionaire does not have Aurora in hand because he just stopped himself from being able to play it next turn. He's down two runes by putting down the Dead Bloom, which means he can only go up to 8 again next turn. But something that's really interesting would be if that Dead Bloom then also had a Zonia's. It does look like we are going to be missing that because we are going to see that rebuke happen. Dead Bloom is going to be sent back to Villionaire's hand, but Annie is down to 3 runes in response because of that deflect.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad situation to be in here. I think what you want to do is go for that Dreamy Tree Conquer yet again, be able to get an additional card with that Kai'Sa, and at least this way he gets to get an extra point from that Traveling Merchant, as well as deny Villionaire the opportunity to have a unit on the field.
Yeah, maybe it's not the worst. It's just
Doesn't
definitely
feel
gonna be
good.
interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, 3 runes doesn't feel good is where I'm at with that one. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see this next turn because Villionaire can still play Dead Bloom when he adds his 2 new runes back. But I don't know. I think there is just something so strong. This is like a second line with Yi that's really strong. Is that even if you don't hit Aurora, if you can hit that Dead Bloom, Aeons into Dead Bloom, it's crazy. You get him a whole turn early, and then if you hit Zonia's as well, you're not playing 1 Dead Bloom. You're playing 2.
This is true. And it looks like Minwin's just going to go ahead and go for that flash anyways, get the draw while he has it
Ooh.
available, as well as just protect that Kai'Sa. He's going to accept that this Traveling Merchant is going to die, but at least this way he gets to draw an additional card from that Kai'Sa, as well as draw that card from that Dreaming Tree.
Yeah, Dreaming Tree Flash is such a strong line on Annie as well. Getting to draw that extra card, keeping your cards safe, and it's even another card when it's Kai'Sa, right? Just going right back in, conquering that Dreaming Tree, and getting that ability to draw a card.
Yeah, and actually, a viewer just pointed out that he may have sided out his Auroras, and that is actually definitely a possibility. We'll have to see if that is the case, but I mean, that second Rebuke in hand is going to do a lot of punishment here. So, Fading Memories is going to come down. He's going to recycle 2 for that Fading Memories cost, and now. Yeah, Villionaire
Ooh.
is in a whole heap of trouble as he just spent 2 turns to get rid of this Traveling Merchant and now just lost as well his Dead Bloom Predator after that fact. So
Mm-hmm.
is going to go down to 5, is still at just 1 point as opposed to this 5 that Win is at. And I feel like this Annie player is just navigating these turns perfectly.
Yeah, I think Min's got a lot of experience into the Aurora. I don't think he came into this not expecting Aurora, that's for sure. But we'll have to see what Villionaire can do as well. We did see him draw into a white flame protector, but we'll have to see what else he can play. It looks like it is going to be that chosen champion Yi, who is immediately ready based on his ability.
Yep, and I mean, Villionaire does have access to the Rebuke. Unfortunately, he doesn't have enough purple runes to be able to utilize it as of yet. So it just seems like this Kai'Sa is going to get taken out here. And when going to accept that loss for now, we'll be able to go up to potentially 6 points on the following turn as he does have access to a couple of other cards. I think one of them was actually just another Kaiser. So
Oh, wow. Yeah, I definitely think with Accelerate, we have that option. We're going up to 5 runes, so just enough to accelerate, but we're not the happiest about being down so low on runes, I would say. Luckily, Annie kind of generates her own based on that leader ability. It's not generating physical runes, but when you can write 2 of them and unexhaust them, you now have effectively 7 during your opponent's turn.
absolutely. And the fact that there's a lot of Fury runes on the field here doesn't feel good, which means that this Rebuke is
Mm-hmm.
not going to find value yet again. And while he does have access to this Kaiser as well as Ride the Wind, it's not going to feel great to want to use as of now. And you definitely don't want to be playing units that enter exhausted because you can get charmed. And if that does happen, you're going to feel extra bad about that. So Kaiser's just going to come down. And we'll have to see. Nope, just going to pass that turn and hopefully get to keep that Kaiser around for the next turn.
Yeah, it does seem like we are going to choose to use her not accelerated. And I feel like you just jinxed Min because we drew into our charm here on Villionaire's side.
No, he was sitting on it.
No, he
Oh.
just drew that one. He might have a second one, though, but he also just drew this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, he does have a find your center in hand. So right now that is just 1 because Nguyen is at that 5-point threshold, and right now this Clockwork Keeper is going to come down, just be able to draw an additional card, and hopefully he finds something a little bit more useful. And I do think that this Clockwork Keeper actually came in for these Auroras.
Uh, yeah, we decided to draw that card with the Clockwork Keeper. He does an ability where you're allowed to recycle a rune to draw an extra card. We see Challenge is now an option as well to use, but the Yi is just going to gank over, not having to go back to the base. But that does mean Yi can also kind of avoid that Vile Maw layer's ability that where it's supposed to, you're not allowed to move back to your base. You are allowed to move to the other base if you can do so.
This is true, and I do believe that he is sitting on a Ride the Wind, so that could be potentially the choice here, and it actually does not look like that is the case. So, Cleave not going to be enough. If he does have the double Cleave, though, he might be able to get over the Yi, as it is right now at 8 might, due to the Yi Legend ability. And I think Yi's Legend is one of those abilities that I thought would get scaled out over time, but it feels like it gets better the next set, surprisingly, with cards like Fury Peerless, the one that doubles in a 1v1.
Yeah, it's an interesting card. We'll have to see how it does in set 2. But we are going to see if find the center. We get to draw a card, and since Min is at 5, it only costs 1 rune instead of 3.
Yeah, Find Your Center is one of my favorite cards out of set 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's like broken by any stretch, but it feels really good to play, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I play a little bit of mid-rangey, and one time I only had find my centers for 4 turns or 3 turns straight, and I'll tell you, it doesn't feel good, especially on turn. It was like 3, but in general, yes, it never feels bad. But I'm a little bit traumatized.
Just draw better.
I wish my find my center drew better.
You should just find your center and draw better.
I played 3 of them. What else am I supposed to do? I played all 3 of them. What else am I saying? How else am I finding my center? But it does look like we are going to be playing Darius and then utilizing the Darius's ability by playing the Traveling Merchant, which writes the Darius or unexhausts it and gives him an extra 2 might and bring him up to the Dreaming Tree, going against that 4 might Clockwork Keeper.
Now, Challenge is a potential choice here. Look, Nguyen is exhausted, so this Challenge could come down, get rid of this Darius on Yi's side alongside something like that Discipline in hand.
The thing is, though, we're going to have to use the Discipline as well. So we're going to have to, use 2 of them. We're bringing up that Yi to 8 here and then going to, if we do that, use the Challenge. But at least it does draw us a card. Sadly, no Dreaming Tree extra draw, though.
Yeah, unfortunate, but, it is going to be the case. Nguyen is going to ready these 2 cards, and yeah, Villionaire gets to maintain control of both of these battlefields, bring himself all the way up to 6, and yeah, Nguyen is definitely not happy about this.
Yeah, Nguyen was able to get that win last game. A little bit sad on how this one is going, but we'll have to see if Min can somehow finish it off. He is at 5, just shy of that 6 threshold, which is where Vi and Ride the Wind can really find, a win con. But Billionaire does have is just one turn away potentially from winning the game.
Yep. So considering moving it back, but I think what he wants to do is just play the unit down first. And
Mm-hmm.
there is that Tasty Faithful, just going to bring back that Clockwork Keeper, as essentially it is a 0 might unit because Yi makes it and gives that Tasty Faithful the +2 anyways.
Yeah, Tasty Faithfolk is such a strong card in my opinion. It's it's still good with Aurora. It obviously can be accelerated. It can ramp you when it dies with that death knell with the +2 runes and a card draw. But it's also a really nice body just for swapping out of those early game cards like Clockwork Keeper, maybe even the Kiana sometimes for in these different decks.
Hmm.
And what is 4 or 6 might, Tasty Faithful can move in and become 8.
Yep, absolutely. So, unfortunately, though, there is yet another Darius going to come down here. And while there is 2 runes available, I don't know if there's that second discipline because if there is, that Tasty Faithful is going to trade with the Darius. And while the game is not over, when spending all of this time to deal with really just a Tasty Faithful or a Master Yi does not feel good at all. And we have to expect that this Darius is going to go into this Faithful. I do see a second cleave in hand, however, so if it is a discipline that gets played, he will have an appropriate answer.
Yeah, that's great to note. We'll have to see what ends up happening here. It does look like we're going to be moving up Darius first. Hmm.
Considering all of his options, he might even opt for this Vile Lair. Just wants to get rid of that ganking unit, and that makes a lot of sense. Look, this Tasty Faithful's not going to be able to go onto the battlefield, onto this Vile Lair, and Nguyen recognizes that he's not going to be able to get to that, deny that 7th point from happening. So just going to send the Darius into the E. That Rune
Ooh.
Prison going to come down, and well, that might just be the game itself. He does have that Rebuke in hand, so he could fire off this Rebuke here, send this E back to hand, but then he has to deal with that E coming right back down.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That is rough. Rune Prison is such a strong card. Rune Prison offers a interesting keyword stun, I believe, where it stops essentially the might on Darius or whoever you play it into, which means Darius is stuck there. It doesn't matter that he's 10 might because he's not allowed to deal that 10 might to the opponent's champion. So Yi, even though he was only 8 per se, deals 8 might into 10 might Darius. Darius doesn't die, but he does just go back to base, and Yi gets no damage on him. So it effectively ends the combat here. And in some cases, you can still kill your opponent's card, right? That is stunned as well. So it is so strong. Really excited to see Thwonk in set 2 because of it.
Yes. Yep. That stun just absolutely devastating here for Nguyen. So, got to bring all 8 cards from his sideboard out again and just see what he might want to be taking out here. And I think now will be a good time as ever to send us off to another commercial break here for this 90 seconds. So that way you guys don't have to worry about a commercial popping up out of nowhere. Yeah, he was able to rebuke, but the issue is he had no answer to that Yi once it came right back down. And because he would have been fully exhausted, or he would have been able to do something like a fight or flight, but he has to fight through a defy, potentially just so much more. And then even if that does happen, he has no way to answer that other side of the battlefield. So that is the big issue.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure everything that was. I think Billionaire did have. Well,
Billionaire was sitting on a defy.
yeah, as
Yeah.
well. But I was just gonna say, like, I don't know. I think Min probably just decided, like, this is my threshold. I don't think I can win from here. and decided to go next. It is untimed, so we'll see how it works. But I am excited for Game 3. It is going to be Arena's Greatest versus Obelisk of Power, where Villionaire is going to be ramping up a little bit faster than normal. He could technically play Aeons potentially on his turn 1 if he is going second. And Minh is going to be on Arena's Greatest, which means both players, as long as they catch the trigger, are going to be starting with 1 point. The game is sped up, and Annie's got to be aggro, and she's probably going to be ready for it.
Yeah, I listen. I think this is going to be the toughest game here for Villionaire. We'll have to see if he goes right back to the Dazzling Auroras. I feel like against Annie, you don't really have enough time. And as one of those chatters, I can't quite see what the name says. Sided out those Auroras. Yeah, right. It's like it's cut off. It's in the middle of the name, so it's something stock. 1064. Said it on YouTube. Shout out YouTube.
What?
Yeah, right here. Boop. He said he signed it out of the Auroras, and I was like, oh, actually, you're
Oh,
brilliant.
oh. Yeah,
One
no,
of
the
the few
moment the
times
clock.
chatters are useful.
Chatters are useful. You're so mean to chatters.
I really am.
I don't know why we gotta be. No, this is not Color's Law. This is Ursiiday, but Color's Law is a fantastic Lorcana caster. I like her a lot. I was very excited to get to meet her in PPG
She's really
in
nice.
Orlando.
Both on and off stream.
She's very cool. Yeah, I got to talk to her a little bit. She was really, really nice. So very happy to be confused for Color's Law. I'm not a law degree though, but
Yeah, well,
I don't know if she is actually either. But
well, you're colorblind, so you cannot be law.
I could be law. I just might misrule a couple times, especially with colors. Our voices are quite similar. Ooh.
There you go.
I don't know her voice well enough to take that in any certain
That's a
direction,
compliment.
but I'll
That's
take
a
it as a
compliment.
compliment. Yeah. That being said, I did call the 2, and we do hit our 2 cost immediately on Min's side. Both of the triggers for Obelisk and Arena were caught by Min. 1 point and already have that rune. And as I said, 4 runes on
wow.
Villionaire. He has that Aeons that I mentioned. And Aeons, they said, is so strong. We're immediately to 6. He'll be on 8 next turn, and that is a potential Dead Bloom immediately. If he can find Azonias, it's functionally 2 Dead Blooms.
Yeah, I mean, this Obelisk of Power putting in a lot of work here. Just being able to get that turn 1 Catalyst of Aeons means that you have that turn 2 Deadbloom access, and that really slows down everything that Nguyen wants to be doing. So 5 runes going to be exhausted here. We'll have to assume that it's a Darius or a Kai'Sa, and it is. But that Darius is not going to be able to find value as of yet.
Ooh, we'll have to see what he can do. He does go in and play that Darius, like you said. Doesn't have a second card to be able to ready him, but I think Min's pretty happy with the 2 points. Maybe he's a little bit worried, and I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm peeking a little bit at Villionaire's hand. We are definitely still playing no Aurora. I see, honestly, the little mini boss of my heart, Stalwart Poro. I paused. I almost called him Stoutland Poro again. And though that Dead Bloom that I've been warning about.
Yeah, I mean, Deadbloom has just been an absolute nightmare to deal with for a lot of people. Just in set 1, I think he tends to kind of fall off in favor in set 2 just because of how many different tools are available. But yeah, this Ride the Wind is just going to be used to get an extra point here. And while that Deadbloom Predator is going to be able to stick onto the field, that Ride the Wind is going to get him 2 extra points essentially. And this Darius is going to be very threatening on this following turn.
Yeah, that does not feel good on Villionaire's side. The little Poro, he's got deflect on him as well, taking that point during his turn and then also getting a point for holding. We did get our second point as Villionaire with our Dead Bloom, but that's not where we wanted to end that turn.
Absolutely not. And look, Nguyen's already at 4 points on turn 3, so he might just bring back this little Poro guy. And then we'll have to see if there is a rebuke going to be happening, but it doesn't look like that is going to be the case. Just going to play this Kai'Sa outright in the base and continue to play it patiently here. I like this patient play. He's already got that point lead. He wants to stay on the even point threshold and then set up for these next 2 turns to be able to win it.
Ooh, and he cited in his wind wall as well. I don't know if he, I know, trying to figure out how to word this correctly. I know sometimes the Challenger TCG guys, they play wind wall. I can't remember if they don't start with 1 in their main deck, and they just, or if it's mainly in the side deck. But I do see they are currently in the deck now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a great way to answer rebuke. So if Wind goes for this rebuke on this turn and it gets met with a wind wall, it's going to be very, very punishing as you have to recycle 3 runes, and you're only at 5 runes to begin with. So it's a huge punish for what's going to be happening. So yeah, I mean, this wind wall is going to be a very impactful card in this matchup between the two of them.
Yeah, I think it's a great choice to have in the game. And it does look like we're going to see that charm come down first. Darius is going to come up into the Dead Bloom. Currently a 5 versus a 10. If we could play 2 cards, Darius could be a 7. If we could find a cleave, he could potentially be a second card, a 10. And then obviously there's that potential for rebuke. We have our lovely little wind wall.
Yeah. And I mean, he does have this Ride the Wind in hand, so if he can just try and eat that wind wall with a Ride the Wind, he's going to feel a lot better about it, only having to recycle 1 as opposed to the 2 from Villionaire, as well as that charm coming down. So 3 cards recycled on Villionaire's side versus the 1 on Wind's side would feel like, well, like a win.
He'll feel true to his name. But yeah, I would like to I think that's probably something Min's having to worry about. Like, can I Ride the Wind has the potential to could even be defied, things like that. But we also kind of need to eat those cards of Billionaires before it's that winning turn. Because if they're in the hand, it's not like he's just going to lose them. He's not running Mind Splitter. He's not running Mind Splitter and Annie, things like that. There's no way he's going to discard it later. So being able to burn these defies, being able to burn the wind walls before that winning turn is going to help win.
Win when he wins?
No, that was my point. Win the game.
I know, but it was just a fun alliteration.
I was already doing the alliteration. One alliteration at a time, Saucekay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. All right. Well, I mean, here we go. We're going to go back to Wynn's turn. I think basically what he wants to do right now is just send it into that Arena's Greatest, draw an additional card, find a couple more answers to what's going on right now. Because as these turns continue, it feels like Wynn has just less and less options available to him. I mean, Villionaire is sitting on that wind wall right now. So it looks like there's 2 wind walls in the list, post sideboard and 1 in the main board. But this stacked deck is going to hopefully find something a little bit more useful because losing that Darius does not feel good.
Yeah, not good at all. But there are a couple options here with this stacked deck. I see 2 cleaves, a flash, and it does look like we're going to choose to get that cleave. But the flash feels so nice sometimes. I'm just going to say it does. But we don't have the Dreaming Tree to really profit off it.
Absolutely. So, I mean, it does feel like this Yi is in a fairly commanding position, but I mean, look, there's this Annie that can get back that Ride the Wind, allow you to ride the wind once more on these following turns. So hopefully he decides to go for something like that. He might even opt for the stack deck just because he can use it right now. But yeah, I mean, I think this Ride the Wind just makes the most sense, and we'll have to see if he's going to be able to figure out a way to navigate through everything that Villionaire has at his disposal, because right now, Win just doesn't.
Oh, my little baby, Stoutland.
Stalwart.
Stalwart, I know. That was on purpose. But, semi-purpose. I knew it was going to happen, and I let it. I guess I should actually stop that one. Stoutland is a Pokemon.
Yeah.
So I gotta stop that. But
the Pokemon Poro?
The Pokemon Poro. He's a terrier.
A pit bull terrier?
No, like a Highland terrier.
That's Gracie. You met Gracie.
She's a cutie. She's a cutie. There's a cute little dog here at Charlie's. For those who are interested in dogs, if you're not interested in dogs, she's in a back room, so you don't have to worry. But Stoutland is a semi-control card that makes you use extra energies to attack. At least in Pokemon Pocket. In Pokemon Pocket, at least. That being said, Yi is threatening this Kaisa, and it looks like we are going to threaten that Rebuke. Right now, there's only 1 rune up, though, so Min's not taking a risk of that wind wall or anything like that.
I mean, I really like this line. He doesn't have yet the answer for this Dead Bloom Predator. It's going to be a while before he finds that answer. He does have the double cleave with the Kaisa to do something like that. But that said, he wants to get to the 6-point threshold before he decides to do something like that. So this is going to give him that second opportunity. really to deal with everything that's happening. And that fading memories is absolutely huge. Yeah, I mean, he's just firing it off right now, which I think is absolutely correct. Look, this is one of the most important pieces in this matchup here. He is going to be able to recycle, or he's going to be forced to recycle too. He knows he doesn't have to play around wind wall
Ooh.
and just has to hope that his opponent doesn't have a second defy. And if Villionaire doesn't have it, I mean, he is in a bad position.
Yeah, we're at 6 points now. Min is threatening winning at any time, and that fading memories is gonna hurt the dead bloom.
Yeah, and Villionaire definitely not happy to see that. You could see that frown on his face. That tells me that he doesn't have that defy, and he tapped under that wind wall and might be regretting it here.
I didn't see which card Annie pulled back. I was a little distracted talking about my doggo from Pokemon, but did you by any chance catch what card she pulled back?
The Kaisa.
The Kaisa. Ah, okay, my bad.
Yeah. So now Villionaire needs to figure out how to get control of both these battlefields. And he knows this Ride the Wind is in hand, so he's not allowed to tap under this wind wall range. Looks like 6, 7. He is going to tap under this wind wall range. He's afraid of this Vi Ride the Wind from happening, but at this point, he can't afford to play around it. And he just has to hope that Wind doesn't find a Chaos Rune next turn.
Yeah, to note there, it looks like there's at least 5 cards in Min's discard. He could have more up there, but I'm counting 5 right now. And so, I mean, there's like some world where he could go, so he could ride the wind into the stalwart, discard it, get enough to be 9 instead of 8. But what is that hidden card? Obviously, one of the choices is going to be Zonia's, but Zonia's does not protect against Vi Ride the Wind. So the question is what is it? Is there some card that's hidden that could somehow stop Vi? I can't remember off the top of my head if so.
I don't think so. Really, the only card that Ys are known for playing is these Zonia's Hourglasses, just to protect these big units that you do play. And Zonia's Hourglass would not protect against Fading Memories, as you would still have that temporary next turn regardless. And it does exhaust as well. So the fact that there's no Chaos Runes available for Win right now does not feel good. And if he wants to be able to develop this second Kaisa from his hand, that just gives Villionaire another turn to try and find some better answers. And yeah, I mean, Win's got hand-to-head right now. He's really trying to find a way out of this hole.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, he's like so many questions. Would you have those 2 runes up as well? Potentially a Discipline, potentially a Defy, potentially On Guards.
Now, I like this decision a lot that Win's kind of mulling over here, just sending in both of the little, pooper units, we'll call them, because they don't really do too much. They're just adding a little bit of might, just helping you get that final push. But
How
being
dare
able
you
to
call them
send
that? Be kinder to my low drops.
Yeah, well, these little pooper units are going to go right in and take the trade with the Stalwart Poro, potentially. And then also, if that doesn't work, he can send in that Cleave. And it looks like he's just going to do it with the Kaisa instead. Go ahead and try and protect her regardless.
Ooh, double though.
Double Cleave, going to send it in, force potentially a trade with that Zonia's Hourglass. And the fact that there is no access to this Ride the Wind means that if Villionaire does have Discipline, which I believe he does, that will just allow this trade here.
Ooh,
and then
10
also
to 10.
Yep. And then he's going to draw. It is that Zodia's Hourglass like we alluded to. And now no draw from Win. He is going to be able to get that extra point, but I mean, it's not going to be doing too much. So he might just opt to play a little bit more patiently, play this Traveling Merchant out, and pass the turn.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in for Min. He's so close here, but it looks like what he's going to try to do is just clear off the board, make sure that that Stalwart Poro isn't going to be holding for that second point that Billionaire needs next turn, and add more to his base.
Absolutely. So Billionaire really needs to be able to find Yeah, he's just showing the judge just double checking the math is correct. And yeah, I mean, Villionaire played this very well here. That's not find your center is honestly going to provide a lot of value. Just allow him to get an extra rune as well as find a different card. I mean, this Yi is going to be able to get an extra point, allow him to get to that 7-point threshold, which means that now Nguyen must have an answer to what is happening. And if he doesn't have it, this game is over.
It could be a huge problem. Luckily, just to note, we should be getting, I believe, a Chaos rune next turn. Chaos is purple, right?
Yeah, I believe it's 6-6,
I
but
think it's 6-6. So next two, we should have one, but that may not be enough. We'll have to see. One. Oh, we got two. Let's go.
there we go. So Flash is not the card you want to
You
see
know it's
here. And this Kaiza will be able to potentially come down and draw him a card, but with 2 runes after the fact, there is no way to answer this Yi. So Obelisk of Power going to be captured here.
We get to discard, draw.
Fight or flight
Oh.
might have done it here. We'll have to see if he finds a way to get in here, but this fight or flight might be the piece that he is missing.
The problem is there's 6 runes up, though.
Now, this wind wall very likely to come down in response, and now Villionaire has to think. Is gonna fire it off. He's kind of forced into the situation, can't really think about it at all, in fact. And because of that, I think that's the game.
May very well be. And it looks like it's going to be going to, I think, Villian here. I don't think there's really an answer to it.
Well, he could ride the wind back to base here, ready the Traveling Merchant, get another move trigger, discard the Kaiza, and hopefully find a Rebuke
I guess
or
that's
a Ride
true,
the
yeah.
Wind. Oh, no, just a fight or flight. Really the only option to find here. So, going to trigger the move, discard, draw. If he doesn't find what he needs to go into the battlefield
Oh,
again.
he's peeking.
It's a rebuke.
It's rebuke. But he
Not
doesn't have
enough
2 purples.
runes.
Yeah, he doesn't have 2 purples for the rebuke.
Now he can move into the base or into the battlefield and get yet another discard draw. See if he can find it. So he's got one more draw available to him. Is it that fight or flight?
It is.
It is! Wow!
Oh
out
my
of
God,
nowhere,
wait.
does he have it?
I don't know. It's all, though. So let's. Oh, yeah. And there we
The
go.
handshake comes out, and what an incredible finish from Nguyen
What
here.
in the world?
Wow. I mean, that was just an absolute masterclass from both of these players. And unfortunately for Villionaire, Minh Nguyen going to be able to take it.
Ooh, that final move is all it takes. Fight or flight. We burned the wind wall earlier with fight or flight before. Actually insane by Minh holding out, continuing to make sure he gets it through. Billionaire kind of pointing out, man, he wishes he put that stalwart up. But that was a fantastic game by Minh. He knew he still had a chance to win, and he kept trying until the very end.
Absolutely. I mean, it looked like it was all but closed there. And that fight or flight top deck from that first move gave him an opportunity to find a win and force that wind wall to come out. And I mean, just what an absolute masterclass. Beautifully played from both of these players. I mean, I am just guffawed at how incredible both of these players played.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic job by Minh Nguyen.